Hi guys, and welcome to Cambridge First Exam with Sam. I'm Sam, and in this video we're going to be talking about learning vocabulary. Now, here is a controversial idea. I don't think it's good to learn vocabulary with apps and with vocabulary lists. I know a lot of students do this, and it's okay. It's quick and it's easy, and the apps normally make it very easy to learn the vocabulary. But sometimes these apps and lists, they give you translations into your first language, or they give you a definition or a meaning for the new vocabulary. And I think that if you want to do really well in the first exam and you want to have a really good level of English, then you need to know more than the translation and more than the meaning. I really want to help you guys out with this because it's a problem that a lot of people have. So I'm going to explain why it's important to learn more than the translation, and I'm going to talk about some different types of connection between words that you can learn about to really help your vocabulary learning and your level of English for the exam. All right, so let's get started by thinking about some of the different reasons why you should learn more than the translation. Okay, so you should learn more than the translation because when you learn a word and its translation, or a word and its meaning, you connect the word and its translation together. So for example, if you're learning Spanish as an English person and you learn cat, gato, then you fit them together. You make a connection between the word in your language and the word in translation. But in an English person's brain, when we speak English, we don't have a connection between a word and a translation. We have a connection between a word and all the possible other words that can go together with that word. So, for example, if I have lots of possible connections, like I have a brother, I have two cats, I have some good news for you. And then when we speak, we just connect pieces together so that I know I have a brother, I have two cats. So we have a connection between English words and all of the possible combinations and connections that we can make. And that's really, really good for speaking. It makes your speaking really fluent and really accurate. It's also really good for listening because it means that when you hear the first part of a phrase, you can already formulate some predictions for the second part of a phrase. And when your prediction and the real thing that you hear are the same, then you understand really quickly and really easily. So learning all about these connections makes your speaking more fluent, it makes your speaking and your writing more accurate, and it makes your listening much, much easier. It will also make your reading a little bit quicker too, for the same reason with predictions, like in listening. So that's why you need to learn a bit more than the translation, because it will really help you to speak and write more fluently and more accurately, which is exactly what you need for the exam. So what kind of connections can you learn when you learn about words? Well, we'll look at that in the next section of this video. Okay, so we said before that words always come with a connection to other words. And words are kind of like people. They always want to be with their friends. They always want to be with other words that they are familiar with because they spend a lot of time together. Now, I'm going to give you some examples. This is a bit of an abstract idea, so I'll give you some concrete examples. Now, all of these are honest examples from real English, so all of my examples will be with the word honest. So if we're thinking about the word friends for the word honest, then we can say things like perfectly honest or completely honest. And these are really good combinations. They're really good word friends. These words are found together quite often, so they sound like real natural English together. The technical word for this is good collocations. Perfectly and honest are good collocations because they go together really, really often, so they sound like natural English. We also have bad collocations. These are kind of like word strangers where the words don't really go together. An example would be honest prediction. We don't really put honest and prediction together very often, so it sounds strange. So a good collocation for prediction is accurate. Accurate prediction. That's a good combination. We also have combinations of words with pieces of grammar. For example, with honest, it has good grammar friends as well as good word friends. So a good grammar friend for honest would be an adverb, for example, like perfectly, completely, totally. All of these adverbs are good grammar friends for honest. They go together really well. Honest also has one or two grammar friends that are prepositions. For example, honest about or honest with. So honest about what I did at the party, or honest with my parents. So it has some grammar friends that are prepositions, but not so many as it does with adverbs. So adverbs are better grammar friends than prepositions. The technical word for grammar friends is collocations, and these are good collocations. So adverbs are good collocations for honest. So the word friends and the grammar friends are one type of connection that you can learn about when you learn a new word. So good collocations and good collocations. So that's the first type of connection. Let's look at the second type of connection you can learn about. So the second type of connection that you can learn about is all about phrases. Now you probably know about set phrases, phrases where we can't change any of the words or the order of the words. Now, set phrases, we say set because set means we can't change them. But in reality, a lot of phrases can be changed. I'll give you an example with honest, again, an honest example. So we have a set phrase like, to be honest. An example would be, my mum's cooking is okay, but to be honest, she could put more salt in. Something like that. It means I'm going to give you my honest opinion. So we have this set phrase, to be honest, but in reality, it's not really set. We can change it. We could say, to be honest, to be frank, to be fair. And we can also change to be. We could say, let's be honest. My mum's cooking is okay, but let's be honest, she could put more salt in. Sorry, Mum. No, her cooking is actually quite good. So yeah, so that's another kind of connection that you can learn about when you learn new vocabulary, is to learn the phrases that we can put these words into, and how we can change set phrases that aren't really set. So that's another type of connection you can learn. It's really good to show some variety in your language when you're speaking and writing. And it's also really useful in the listening exam where you can find sometimes phrases that are familiar but not exactly the same as phrases that you've learnt. So it can really help in your listening exam too. So that's the second kind of connection that you can learn, set phrases and how you can change set phrases with your new vocabulary. There's one more type of connection we need to think about when you're learning vocabulary, and it's all about sounds. We'll talk about that next. So when you learn vocabulary from an app, you probably learn the pronunciation, and you shouldn't stop doing that. The pronunciation is really, really important information to learn about your new vocabulary. But as we've been talking about, we've seen that words are always connected. They have good word friends, they have their grammar friends, they also have their phrases where they can change certain words. So you should always learn the pronunciation of words in connection with the other words they come with. I'll give you an example to show you why this is important for your speaking and your listening. If we take the phrase, to be perfectly honest with you, to be perfectly honest with you, and we think about the pronunciation. Imagine I learn the pronunciation for the word honest, and I learn it goes honest, with a T at the end, honest. Okay, but now listen to the pronunciation in the phrase, to be perfectly honest with you, to be perfectly honest with you, to be perfectly honest with you. Can you hear the difference? That at the start of honest, we connect the perfectly, the li at the end of perfectly, with the start of honest, perfectly honest. And the T at the end, honest, is gone. Honest with you. So I'll do it one more time. To be perfectly honest with you. To be perfectly honest with you. To be perfectly honest with you. Okay? So the sounds are very different when the word is connected to the other words around it. And it's really, really important to learn that for your speaking so that your pronunciation is accurate and natural, but also for your listening, because if you think you're going to hear to be perfectly honest with you, and then you hear to be perfectly honest with you, then there's a possibility that maybe you won't understand. So learning the sounds is really important for your speaking and your listening too. Okay, I'll make just a couple of brief remarks to make a short summary of all of the ideas we've looked at in this video. So we talked about why you need to learn connections between English words and other English words. And then we thought about the types of connection. The first was the grammar friends and the word friends, so collocation and collocation. So you want to learn the words that normally come together with the word that you're learning. We talked about phrases and how you want to learn the connections that your new word can form with set phrases. And we talked about the sounds. So you want to learn how all of the sounds can fit together and what your new word sounds like when it's connected to other words. Okay, so that's why I think that you should learn words with their connections and not words just alone in an app with a translation. I hope you found this video really useful and it's given you some new ideas for your first exam preparation. If you like the video, then like it and subscribe to the channel so that you'll receive all our new videos. You can also join our group on Facebook, and you can also sign up for our email list on the website. So you will never miss a single update from our blog, and you will always get some help and advice for your first exam preparation. All right, good luck with your studying, and I'll see you very soon, guys. Bye!